Hello, welcome to Living Life. You two can't believe I'm saying that. Like, what the hell this past year has been, past 6 months to be honest, crazy. Like, my life is completely taken a 180. It's 180 or 360. And here we are. So, welcome. This page is basically going to be looking at all things food, freedom, fitness, cooking, all of that. I'm also going to do a video on my weight gain journey. Thought we'd start with a Q&A introduction thing, which I obviously put on my stories. You guys have asked me stuff. Let's get going with the Q&As. If I go into my story archives. So, got all your questions up here. The first one that's come up. More background about you, where you trace your roots back to and countries you've lived in. Believe it or not, I'm actually a quarter Indian. As much as I don't look like it, my mum and my sister look a lot more Indian than me, and my granddad is fully Indian. We do not look related at all, but I actually think that's why I'm so interested in cooking dishes from different countries. Like, if I don't cook British food. Granddad now lives in Canada. My mum grew up in Canada. So I go visit Canada a lot, but I do apparently say things weirdly. Like, I come out with some words weirdly because my mum has a full-on Canadian accent. So mine will sometimes be like this mush of like British, Canadian. Yeah. Then, Indian, Irish, British, so my dad is basically fully British, so quite different, and he's a bit French as well, so I'm a bit French there too. In terms of countries I've lived in, I grew up in London up until I was about 8 years old, and we moved to the country. Not gonna lie, I've just always been a city girl, so it's so nice to be back. Next one, how tall am I? This is quite interesting because people that have met me from Instagram in real life have been like, someone was like, I expect you to be way smaller than you are. Someone else was like, you come across as a tall person. I'm actually 5'5". I thought I was 5'6" till the other week, but apparently I'm 5'5", which is kind of average, I think. What made me decide to start this Instagram? Well, I never intended for it to go this way. Started it in lockdown and I didn't do any fitness on it. I just did cooking. I actually just started it for my friends. You know how everyone was just starting those random pages in lockdown, so I was like, oh, I like made this homemade jam, and I was like, oh, I'll just share it. Living life. I remember my mum came up with the name. It's kind of catchy. I just started with cooking and I then started to gain followers. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I never intended for it to go that way, but I guess I was just making, you know, like mob kitchens recipes and like tagging them in their reblog me or whatever. The third lockdown was really when my Instagram changed. I opened up about my history with my eating disorder. I opened up, I think, was because I was in lockdown. My biggest fear would have been like, oh my god, what are my friends gonna think? Because all my friends do follow me on Instagram. So I was in lockdown, I kind of like, you kind of are in your own little bubble and you sort of forget that there is a world out there. I know it sounds really weird. So I was suddenly so open, and ever since then, the amount of messages I got from that one post, even from some people that I knew, made me realise that my journey could actually really help other people. And wow, like, I'm the most open person about it, because I also think I'm so open about it because I'm out the other side. Whereas before I tried to like cover it up and ignore that I had these problems. How to cope with a few days of splurging with food. Number one, don't feel guilty and don't see it as some kind of cheat day. My birthday yesterday, I honestly ate so much cake to the point where I felt sick. But today I've eaten completely normally. Like, I've had breakfast, I've had all my meals, I've had snacks when I'm hungry. I've even had a bit more cake today. It's a few days. In the grand scheme of things, that's tiny. Like, just act like nothing's happened. You just don't feel guilt, and that's how you avoid unhealthy behaviors. Are you going to be an influencer / PT full time? So this is really interesting. So I'm starting my online coaching, fingers crossed, like by the end of this month. Now I'm just doing the Instagram while studying for my PT course because I honestly don't have time for anything else. Describe how much it is the career path for me. I just want to give back in a way and help other people that are struggling. Like, just gonna see where it goes. I'm very open-minded about it. When did you start your weight gain journey and what's the reason behind it? My reason behind it was I want to be able to have kids. I want to just live a life of food freedom and be able to go out and eat peace with my friends. And there is so much more to life than restriction. Like, you're 80 years old, you look back on your life, spent your whole life underweight, tired, anxious about food, that stops you from doing social events, stops you from wanting to go away with friends. Is that really a life that you want to be living? What's your family like? Love my family. We're all super, super close. We've become so close as well, especially me and my sister. Now we are like this, and it's so crazy. I have 2 older half sisters who I'm super close with as well. My love life. Okay, we're getting deep here, guys. Currently, I have a boyfriend. He's a PT at my gym, and he's now going to the West End, which is exciting. Only been boyfriend, girlfriend for a month, but we've been seeing each other for quite a long time. We're friends to start with. We always think is super important. If you have the foundation of friendship there, you're good to go. I also hope he doesn't watch this, because it will actually make me cringe if he watches this. Would you recommend veganism/vegetarianism for uni students? Yes, 100%. Make sure you're getting your protein source, carbs and fats. Do a big shop at the week. I batch cook now, so like right now I'm defrosting bolognese for dinner. Batch cook like your protein source, change up your carb source a bit, just to make it a bit more interesting. Favorite food that you didn't used to think you could eat? Oh, there are so many. I was literally saying to Imo the other day, like, I was so restricted because I made some weird food rule with all of them, which is just so ridiculous. Now, what would it be? Torn between pasta and bread. Pasta, I just don't even think about now. Before I would have been like, oh my god, I'm having pasta for dinner, like this is a really big deal. Whereas now I'm just like, I love pasta. I could have it twice a day, 3 times a day. I don't have pasta except for breakfast, but why you choose to cross out your weights when you put on your story? Because I don't want people to compare or feel bad. Avoids comparison and all that. Next one. Did you go to uni? If so, what did you study? I went to Durham University. I was at St. Chad's College studying history for 3 years as my undergrad. I had the graduation in COVID. Was that 2020? I think I graduated 2020. Then I went on to study art history at the Courtauld Art Institute in London, specialising in Russian art. So how do you not get scared when gaining weight on your stomach area and still continue? Okay, this I would say is a big one that I always get. I've done a post on this. I may actually do another post on it, because when I compare the pictures of me when I was gaining to now, it's crazy how much my weight has redistributed around my body. Like, I didn't even notice it. You just have to keep going. Had I gained the weight on the stomach, freaked out and lost the weight, I would be put right back to square one. So you do have to go through this uncomfortable period where yes, you do have more fat around your stomach, and that's because it's trying to protect your organs. And once they realise that you're at a healthier weight, it will start to redistribute. So trust the process. Best thing to come from your account, 150% the people I've connected with on it. I've made some of my best friends through this Instagram account. Imo, who I'm living with, we met at the gym. It was because of Instagram, because we followed each other on Instagram, and I saw her in the gym. I was like, God, she looks really familiar. And I was scrolling through my Instagram and she popped up, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna sound really stalkerish, but like, do you go to our gym? She was like, yeah, I thought I saw you, blah, blah. We then had a gym session. I went on from there. And same with the girls, the girls and guys I've met on Instagram. It's such a great community of people, because you're all so like-minded. You've been through similar experiences and you can talk about those. When are you aiming to qualify as a PT? Hopefully end of November. Actually link in the, I don't know what it's called on YouTube, like the caption thing, early sign up list. So I will, before I announce my Instagram, I will email those people on the sign up list. What are your favourite high protein snacks? Protein brownies that I make. I literally batch cook them, and they're my snacks for the whole week. It's so good. Tips on how to have a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Balance. Say yes to the social plans. Also know when to say no. I don't say yes to every single social plan. I'm all about balance, but there are some times when I've been out 2 nights in a row, I actually need sleep and a night into myself. And I think that's more what balance is like knowing when you need to go out. Also knowing yourself well enough to know, you know what, I need a night in. I might get a bit of FOMO, but I just need a night in. Top 3 tips for healthy weight gain / eating food without guilt. A lot of the guilt can sometimes stem from fullness. Fullness can make you feel a bit gross sometimes, especially when you're in the mindset of like gaining. For me, it was introducing more calorie dense foods, which initially I think was a bit of a fear for me. Once I got into the habit of slathering on a bit more peanut butter on my oats, meaning I wouldn't have to, I got into like this thing at the beginning of my weight gain where I think I was like still eating the same amount that I was in the day, and then I'd get the evening and I'd have all these calories left that I'd still have to eat. So by increasing like little bits here and there, like adding some avocado to my lunches or whatever, that then helped me sort of increase without the added fullness. Number 2, remove any form of trigger. I didn't weigh myself at all. Like, the scales are just so unhealthy. Or another trigger for me, I like fitness tracker thing. Sacked that. I did one session without it and I was like, oh my god, that is so freeing. And for other people don't get triggered by that kind of thing, but I probably wouldn't now, to be honest. For me, I was just in an unhealthy mindset with it all. It made me view exercise in a completely different way. How do you start the gym? Who taught you how to use different equipment? Getting an online PT, to be honest, gave me the confidence I needed. That was basically it. I mean, ask your PTs around the gym as well. That's what they're there for, to help you. How long have you been vegan? I did a post on this recently. I am, quote, vegan. I will cook vegan, everything. But if I'm not eating out, yeah, I'll be vegetarian. I'll be a bit more flexible. If a friend's made me a cake with some non-vegan chocolate in it or a bit of dairy, I'm not going to say no to it. It's all about what finding works for you. For me, veganism is like my veganism. I would never eat meat. Just replace the meat with meat substitutes. My food in the house is vegan. But if I'm out and I want a bit of, you know, that banana bread in the cafe and it's not vegan, I'm going to get it because I've suffered with restriction for too long for me to be like, I can't have that. And that's just what works for me. It doesn't have to be this all or nothing approach. Has anyone been unsupportive of your fitness and health goals? Well, initially I got people laugh at what I was doing. This was when my account was much smaller and I was opening up about this kind of stuff. 2 people like were like laughing about it, almost like behind my back, but I was like there. It was just like, how? I just don't understand how someone could do that when someone's opening up about something. If anyone's like that and not supportive of your goals, often comes from a place of jealousy. They don't need to be your friend. You don't need that. That's my kind of approach. Just cut out the toxic people, and if they're in your friendship group, you know, be friendly with them or whatever, but you don't need to hang out with them the whole time. I love what I'm doing, so if you love what you're doing, other people being unsupportive for your goals can just get rid of them. Kind of brings us to the end of our little Q&A introduction video. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for all your support. I wouldn't be doing this or here today if it wasn't for you. Like, please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and comment below anything you want to see from me. I have some very exciting stuff planned. I will catch you guys soon as Living Life over and out. Till next week.